In the heart of Mylapore, one of the oldest living neighborhoods in Chennai, there is a lane that has carried a goddess's name for over 1300 years. The lane is called Mundakakanni Amman Mylapore Street. It is named after the goddess, not the other way around. The street existed because she existed first. She was here before the lane had a name. She was here before the British called this place a pagoda. She was here, according to tradition, 1300 years ago, when she emerged on her own from the sacred earth in the form of a lotus bud in the neighborhood that was and still is the sacred heart of Chennai. And she is still here, in the same spot, in the same lotus bud form, in a temple that still has a thatched roof over part of her sanctum. Not because the temple is poor, but because a serpent once worshipped her every night under that thatched roof, absorbing the heat of the sun so that she would remain cool. This is Mundakakanni Amman Temple, Mylapore. Welcome to Sthala Puranam, where we uncover the root stories of India's most sacred temples. Today we travel to Mylapore, the ancient neighborhood of Chennai that is home to the Kabaliswarar temple and some of the oldest living sacred traditions in South India. Within this neighborhood, on a street that carries her name, stands one of Chennai's oldest Swayambhu goddess shrines, Arulmigu Mundakakanni Amman Temple. The name Mundakakanni Amman holds three words worth understanding. Mundagam, which in Tamil means the lotus bud, also known as the mundak flower. Kanni, the maiden, the virgin, the pure and undiminished. Amman, the mother. She is the lotus bud maiden mother, the goddess who emerged in the form of a lotus bud and whose maiden purity has never been diminished. She is classified as one of the Saptaganni, the seven divine maidens, and as an avatar of Renuka Devi. She is Mariamman in her Mylapore form, the cooling mother, the healer, the protective goddess of this ancient coastal neighborhood. The Sthala Puranam of this temple begins 1300 years ago, in the time when Mylapore was a thriving port town on the Bay of Bengal coast, when the Kabaliswarar temple was already ancient, and when this neighborhood was home to traders, scholars, and devoted families who had lived here for generations. In that time, on the street that would come to be known as Mundakakanni Amman Mylapore Street, the goddess emerged on her own, a Swayambhu in the banks of a lotus pond. She was not carved by a sculptor, she was not installed by a priest. She arose from the sacred earth of Mylapore in a form that has never been seen anywhere else, the Aruvu Uruva, the formless form. Not fully embodied as a complete idol, but not simply an abstract stone either. Her form is a cone, like a lotus bud emerging from the earth, with the face of the goddess visible on the front. And in the center of that form, a Trishul, the trident of Shiva, is embedded. The top of the form is in the shape of a lotus bud. And the Tamil word for lotus is Mundagam. So the people of this neighborhood, seeing this Swayambhu goddess in the form of a lotus bud, named her Mundakakanni Amman, the lotus bud maiden mother. And the street where she appeared took her name. It has been called Mundakakanni Amman Mylapore Street ever since. Now to one of the most extraordinary and tender stories in this temple's history, and the reason that the sanctum of this 1300-year-old goddess still has a thatched palm roof over part of it. According to the ancient oral tradition of this temple, behind the Swayambhu form of Mundakakanni Amman, there is a large anthill, a Nagaputra. And within that anthill lived a great serpent. Every night, in the dark hours before dawn, the serpent would emerge from the anthill and worship the goddess. Night after night, year after year, the serpent's devotion never wavered. The serpent, witnessing the heat of the Chennai sun falling on the goddess through the open air, did something extraordinary. It used its own body to absorb the heat, taking the burning sun upon itself, so that the goddess would remain cool. And to honor this act of a serpent's devotion, and to protect the goddess from the heat, the community built a thatched palm roof over the sanctum. That thatched roof is still there. In a temple that has had marble floors since 1997, a Rajagopuram built in 1979, and a golden chariot inaugurated in 2007. The ancient thatched roof remains over the innermost sacred space, not as neglect, as reverence, as the living memory of a serpent's devotion. The anthill, the Nagaputra, is still there behind the goddess. The serpent connection is still alive. Devotees who suffer from Naga dosha, the karmic obstruction associated with serpent energies, come specifically to this anthill and to the separate Mundakakanni shrine within this temple, because the serpent here has worshipped the goddess for centuries and its grace flows to those who worship with sincerity. Mundakakanni Amman stands in the east-facing sanctum in her Swayambhu Aruva Uruva form, the conical lotus bud shape that arose from the earth 1300 years ago. Over this Swayambhu form, a kavasam, a sacred armor or covering, in the form of the goddess's face and body has been placed. The trishul stands at her back. Before the sanctum is the Simhavagan, the lion vehicle of the goddess facing the sanctum. At the entrance of the sanctum stand the Dwarbalagis, the divine female guardians. She is classified as a form of Renuka Devi and as one of the Saptaganni, the 7 divine maiden forms of the goddess. In her Mariamman manifestation, she is the healing goddess, the cooling mother, associated with well-being, diseases of heat and skin, and protection of the community. As a Swayambhu who emerged on her own in Mylapore, she is considered the Kshetra Devata, the guardian deity of this ancient neighborhood. The sacred tree, the peepal or Arsamaram, grows inside the temple complex. This is the sacred tree associated with the divine presence, and its growth within the temple is understood as a sign of the goddess's power taking root in the earth itself. Within the Mandapam and Prakaram are shrines for Vinayagar, Ayyappan, Muthukumaraswamy, Dakshinamurthy, Ramaling Swamigal, Kasi, Viswanadar with Visalakshi, Annapurani, Veera Anjaneyar, Nagakanni, and the 7 Saptamatrikas, Samundiswari, Vaishnavi, Magyeswari, Brahmi, Varahi, Nagendri, and Kaumari, each in the form of ancient sacred brick-like stones. The Urchavar processional idol is in a separate sanctum. One of the most distinguished presences in this temple is the shrine of Ramaling Swamigal, Vallalar, the great 19th century Tamil saint poet and philosopher of the Sutta Sanmarka tradition. His presence here communicates the specific quality of this Mylapore temple, a place where the ancient goddess worship, the Shaiva tradition, the Vaishnava tradition, and the modern Tamil reformist saint tradition all coexist in one sacred space. Devotees worship at the temple to get relief from many different troubles like chickenpox, eye diseases, success in education and profession, and to be able to find a life partner. Amman is also said to protect her devotees from evil spells, curses, occults, and other influences of bad spirits. Devotees with Naga dosha, the karmic obstruction from serpent energies, come specifically here because the serpent of this temple has worshipped the goddess herself for centuries. Worship at the Nagaputra anthill and at the Mundakakanni shrine is considered especially powerful for resolving Naga-related karmic blocks. The Kool Prasadam, the sacred porridge offering, is one of the most famous and beloved traditions of this temple. The kool is prepared and offered with great ceremony, and partaking of this prasadam is considered a powerful blessing from the goddess. As the Kshetra Devata, the neighborhood guardian of Mylapore, she is also visited for general well-being, for protection of the family, and for the prosperity of those who live in this neighborhood, and those who come from elsewhere to seek her grace. The site of the temple is also the birthplace of several holy saints like Vailar, one of the Nayanmar and Peyalvar, and several poets. The temple celebrates many yearly events in the holy months of the Tamil calendar, including Adipuram, Chitra Paurnami, Chittirai, Vijayadasami, and last Friday of Thai Madam. Mundakakanni Amman temple is located on Mundakakanni Amman Koil, Street, Mylapore, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, accessible from the lush Sanctum Road, where an arched gateway on the left marks the entrance to the temple lane. Temple timings: morning and evening. That is the story of Arulmigu Mundakakanni Amman Temple, Mylapore, where a goddess emerged 1300 years ago from the sacred earth of Chennai in the form of a lotus bud, where a serpent worshipped her every night and absorbed the sun's heat so she would remain cool, where the thatched roof built for a serpent's devotion still stands in a temple that has otherwise been built in marble and stone, and where the ancient Swayambhu still blazes in the same spot where she chose to emerge. In a city that changes every decade, in a neighborhood that has seen ports and colonial churches and MRTS stations and IT corridors, this goddess has not moved. She was here before all of it, and she is here still. Om Sakti, Om Sakti, Om Parasakti. Which temple should we visit next in Sthala Puranam? Subscribe to Sthala Puranam for more divine temple stories.